Confessions of a Maths Tutor. How do you prepare for the unpreparable question? It's always a question. It's always a problem in this GCSE. You see, one of the things about this GCSE, one of the reasons I always call it adults behaving badly, is that it adores somewhere or other, and then towards the end of a higher paper, setting a question that if you are me, so a maths teacher with God knows how many years of experience, and you've got, say, 10 minutes of unpressured time, is a really enjoyable, difficult puzzle. Okay? I can quietly enjoy these. They're good conundrums because they'll make you have to do drawings. They'll make you have to think from the wrong end of from the opposite end of the problem. Okay? And then that's fine. Bully for me, I hear you say. Yes, and bully for me indeed. The problem is, setting a GCSE for a 16-year-old without the years of experience of mathematics and under a time pressure. Well, the first thing you do is there will only be one. So if you keep on identifying them, no, that's not the way it is. I usually reckon you know them because they're a bit shorter than they should be. And it's hard, and you kind of only just about know where to begin. But the real problem with them, why I don't like having them in a standard GCSE for everybody's ability, is that everybody will always think that harder questions are all the tricky question. But if you're sure you found the tricky question, what do? First things first is you read it carefully. Then you ignore it. Go off and do the rest of the paper. Okay? Once you've located it, go off and do the thing that you thought was the tricky question, but that wasn't the tricky question. And as you're doing it, just have the hard one tinkling away in the back of your head. Certainly the way I do them, if I'm stuck, is I read it. I draw out where I think the solution will be, and then I leave it. I do everything else first. And then I go back to it. And so always my advice with the tricky question is it's probably the last thing you're doing when they ask you to hand in the papers, because you're looking to get marks. Such tricky questions can be worth quite a lot of marks, but 7 or 8 marks in a GCSE. I mean, that's a lot of marks. But there will be a lot of quite straightforward marks. To get 5 in them, or even 3, or even 1 might be just a drawing. So you simply do the first moves. That you can't do the subsequent moves is neither here nor there. The other way you prepare for them is you practice identifying where questions get tricky in a GCSE from papers, and you look at past sheets. There are only a certain number of ways we can make the GCSE tricky, and so it ends up like a puzzle book, and if you've done enough of the puzzles, you might have a clue. So get yourself